This is the Choosing Joy podcast with me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Take a breath, feel it all, choose joy anyway. Hello and welcome back to the Choosing Joy podcast. It's me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Today is episode 81. It gets more exciting every time I say the next number. Just more exciting and more exciting. So I was just looking at social media before getting onto this podcast. I have, a progression of things I do. I pray. And if I'm just not in the right mindset to share in the best way that I possibly can, sometimes I'll use social media to look at just heartwarming videos, joyful videos, ones that just really touch my spirit in a beautiful way and uplift me. And so, of course, it got me thinking really deeply about social media and how we use it, and really how we use anything in our lives, the things that we consume. And I know I talk about consuming, like what books, movies, the way you use social media, all those things. I've spoke about it before. But I really just want to talk about social media today. And that's that. So, number one, what does your feed look like when you are on Instagram or Facebook or any other forms? TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. But my kids do. My nieces and nephews do. But when you're scrolling through, are these things that are funny, are joyful, are these things that make you angry at the world? Are there things that are probably not even truthful things, or things that have any leverage to anything? Also, this is another thing. When you do see things that are supposedly true, I would always, always, always do your research around these things, Google it and figure out if it is actually information or not. I know this is like so obvious to say, but I hear a lot of things from people. Oh, I saw this on Instagram. Must be true. It's probably not. That's okay. And there's a lot of AI stuff going on. So you never know what you're looking at, really. Which AI can have a good part in things. It can show a beautiful video that maybe we aren't capable of making yet as humans, or this or that. And that's a whole different subject. We're not going to talk about AI. But when you're looking, what do you see? And then when you see something you don't like, do you just scroll by, read the comments, let yourself be rage baited into anger about this? Or do you let yourself think, oh, I don't want to feel this way. I don't want to think like that. And then the third part of that is, do you push the 3 little buttons and say not interested, so that stuff like that doesn't come through your feed anymore? You have complete power over the way your feed looks. And everyone says, no, you don't have control over the algorithm. Well, when you look on my Instagram or Facebook, it's full of delightful things, cooking things, videos about cute babies, dogs, lots of dog stuff. Oh boy, I love dogs so much, especially if they're doing silly things, or like smiling dogs. Okay, I digress. You can say the things that you desire or don't desire. And this is just the beginning of what I want to tell you. So just thinking of it like this, like, wow, you have complete control over this. You're like, I don't want to see any political things. I don't want to see any of this or that, but I do want to see more of another thing. Say you want to see more dog videos, but none are coming through. Then search it and it will become your entire feed, right? And I see a lot of people that get super angry on social media. I can't believe this person posted this. I can't believe that. And they're letting themselves fall into that. They're letting themselves be controlled by what other people are saying. So just know that you have complete control over that. And another way I wanted to kind of play into and think about any sort of social media is, what are you using it for? Is it for your business? Is it for personal things? Do you share about your thrift finds or how you cook the best stew that anyone's ever had? Or do you use it for a negative purpose, because you don't even have to go on social media to scroll, like that doom scrolling. Whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, everyone's done it. Everyone's been there. Of course, there's like apps to help you with this too. I cannot think of the name of them at all. I have a timer on my phone that tells me exactly how long I've been on each app each day. I think it's just part of my phone. But anyways, the information is out there for you to understand how much time you're spending. It's something I ask my kids too. How long were you on this app for the whole week or just one day? It's interesting to know. But you also can use social media for a positive purpose that doesn't have anything to do with your business or anything else, just reposting fun videos or, sharing joy and happiness and forward thinking about learning and actually understanding things. And even with your business, you don't have to go on and be a scrolling person. You can just post. You could follow no one, not one person, or be following a million people, like all your friends, all your family, all these different people, but still never look at anything. That's all right. I will go weeks without looking at things. And then, 2 days in a row, I'm like, oh, I got to see some cute little videos of babies again all day long. Not all day long. That was ridiculous. That's a ridiculous exaggeration. But how do you use it? Or how do you not use it, which is completely fine too. My husband does not have any social media. I think he had a MySpace way back in the day for a little bit of time. But for the entire time we've been married, he's never had social media. And he's completely okay with that and completely does not care or even notice. He still knows what's going on in the world. Obviously, there's, talk radio in the car or different ways or, every single thing that, my nieces and nephews and, the boys say to him. But I know other people with no social media too, and they're fine as well. Kind of got off on a side tangent there. Anyways, but yeah, how are you using social media or not? And is there ways you can improve your own relationship with it? For example, myself, I sometimes have a really hard time going on there and feeling like I have to post things and I have to provide all this information to further my business, which I know that would help my business to post more. But I don't feel like it all the time. Sometimes I do for a few days. Sometimes I don't. I'll come out with a bunch of things and schedule things and then try to respond to different people writing. And I get a lot of messages. And so that's really one of the only reasons I go on sometimes. And I know it would help me if I use it as a tool and then posted positive things by giving and by putting, beautiful videos of snowflakes falling with a nice quote over the top or a funny video or this or that. But I just don't all the time. And that might be part of the reason of different things happening in my business or not happening in my business. But I'm okay with that because I choose to have a different relationship with social media. And just like I said right before, I posted a bunch of things actually just to my Instagram stories about like different things. And while I was like looking through for different things, I had the inspiration of asking people what they would want to hear from me. What would be a subject or something that they'd like to hear me talk about on the podcast that maybe I had just touched on and didn't go into depth with. And so I posted it in my stories to, make comments or ideas or concerns or whatever you want to tell me. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a fun way to feel into that. I always have ideas. I always kind of just go with the flow of what the podcast is going to be as I record weekly. Well, depending on if I'm going to have a guest on or not. And there are guests coming on. I know I already said that, but I'll just do a little shimmy about it. Yeah, so I posted that and it felt nice and it felt easy and it felt good. And then I thought, oh, maybe I will create some different things. I always feel like I have a lot to say. My journals are full of all the things, all the days. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I just love my one-on-one work. And that's another way I use Instagram, specifically Instagram, is that the people I work with write me on Instagram because that's easiest for them. Sometimes WhatsApp, and then sometimes just text messaging. And so I try to not get myself caught in just scrolling while I check on the messages from the ladies that I'm working with. Hello, everyone. Shout out to the ladies that I'm working with. Anyways, I just ask you to question what you use social media for, how you use it, and having an open mind about it. I just kept saying to myself over and over, I just don't like social media. I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. And so I'm still working on my relationship with it, especially for my business. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts about social media. What do you use it for? Do you feel like you have a good relationship with it? Do you think you overuse it? Maybe you could use it in a better way for yourself, for your business, for your life, a different way to share. Honestly, sometimes I think, wouldn't it be fun if I had about 87 different, like, not, I guess, platform channels, like one about thrifting, one about cooking, one about gardening, what about just like funny things that I think about randomly, which is like constant and going through my head all the time. It was interesting today too. I was journaling, and I'm just writing as I go, like every thought that comes to my head. And I'm trying to focus on one thing, but that's just not how my brain works. So I'm writing all about something to do with psychology, just like this whole long thought about it. Then, but in between little parts, there's like 4 sentences about a dream I had last night that doesn't even fit into anything else. And then I was talking about how the snow was falling and it's so mesmerizing. It sometimes sucks me in for a really long time and I forget about everything else besides the snow falling. And it's just really interesting how the flow of this, because I was at the end of one journal too, which I find super exciting. I just finished this journal. I know you have to look on YouTube to see it, but this beautiful moth journal. And I don't know, just all the little things I was writing about. Even on the last page, I have this coffee cup that my friend gave me for Christmas. And it's really just a really basic, pretty tan coffee cup. Part of it's glazed, part of it's like a more rough feeling. But inside, because I'm right-handed and I drink out of this coffee cup, there's a little tiny, I don't know, like a little mess up, or maybe it was put there on purpose. The tiniest little heart on the inside is about an inch from the bottom. But if I wasn't right-handed and drinking with my right hand, I wouldn't see this little heart. But in the middle of all the things I was writing in the journal, I had to talk about my coffee cup. I don't know. I think those little side notes and side moments are kind of like social media, because it's just part, like, going through, and like when you're scrolling, it's just these very short amounts of time, sometimes only like 8 seconds to hold someone's attention. And I was like, that's kind of like how my brain works. It always has been. It was before social media. I've always been like this, just like with these side little thoughts and ideas. If you're close to me, you know that I'm like talking about something, and then I all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, then I crocheted a blanket, and then I'll just go right back to talking about whatever I was talking about. So that's kind of fun. I do that on the podcast too, I guess. Anyways, I'd love to hear from you. Jodi at jodilynturpin.com, or you can find me on my website, jodilynturpin.com, or write me on Instagram. Just reach out anyways. And if you'd like to hear about something specific that you'd like me to talk about, either write me or comment in the comment box. I'll put it up like every other day. I'll try to, in Instagram, on both Jodi Lynn Turpin and on Choosing Joy Podcast. So yeah, I hope you all have a joyful week. And as you're using social media, I hope it connects you deeper to joy and brings you happiness and good emotions and joyful tears and whatever else that it can bring you in a loving and wholesome way, honestly. And I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon. You've been listening to the Choosing Joy podcast with me, Jodi Lynn Turpin. Be gentle with yourself, trust the timing, and keep choosing joy again and again.